Walkouts and political activism in schools will now result in absences, investigations, and potentially campus-wide funding losses. That's according to a recent set of guidelines released by the Texas Education Agency. Across the state, students have organized walkouts to protest ICE operations and other issues like school shootings across the country. But now the TEA will investigate any form of political activism considered a disruption to learning during the regular school day. If students do participate in a walkout, they must be marked absent. And if schools are found to have encouraged these actions, campuses risk losing daily attendance funding. The new guidelines mandate the investigation and possible sanctions of teachers who organize any walkout. This rule also extends to districts as a whole. If TEA investigators find any violations, educators could lose their licenses and districts may be put under the jurisdiction of the state.